to PED Talks. This is PED Talks, episode 4. Are you shy about speaking English and feel stuck with it? Well, here it doesn't matter if the grammar is good or bad. We care about comprehension and connection. To us, PED means leaving your comfort zone to try new things. Even if we can't be the best, it's a process and experience that makes us who we are. We just love using language. So let's talk. Today, we bring you a new episode that we actually recorded many months ago after watching the movie Summerland. This is a great movie to watch if you care about gender and the ability to choose your own life path. In this episode, we were so grateful to have the chance to talk to a very cool 4-year English major student, Falim, who was the one who recommended the movie to us. We hope you enjoy our episode. For your information, we watched Summerland a few weeks ago at English Corner, and I think you, Falim, recommend this movie to us. Can I ask, why did you recommend this movie?
It's actually throwback to last year. I already know the actors, like the protagonist one, which is Gemma Atherton. She's like British actress, and I kind of saw this trailer of this movie like last year, but I have never had a chance to watch it because I don't have time. And I think it's happened when it's nearly like midnight of December 31st, which is almost like New Year's, and I actually have nothing to do at that day. I don't have plans, so I think about this movie that I seen it before but didn't get a chance to watch it. So I just want to watch something like not that serious, and also my favorite actress in it. So I shoot this movie, and also it's just because I already knew her from the movie called Vida and Virginia. That's why I really like her and how she speaks, like her accent. So I want to watch something that make me happy during like the New Year's when I'm alone. And of course, it's just because it's the LGBTQ movie, and I really enjoy kind of watching this kind of movies. Yeah, so I shoot this one. At that time, I rated like 8 out of 10. But after watching like it twice, I think I kind of think about like the protagonist's life. Like it's kind of similar to mine. Yeah, not at in like all of it, but like part of it, like parts of her life. I kind of think about myself when I like see her. Yeah.
Okay. So what part of her life?
I think it's just because first she kind of hates children, but you cannot judge people who hate children at first. Like you don't know what is like the story behind that kind of story. Like maybe she hates children because of something in her past life that make her hate children. But for me, I didn't think that deep. I just like don't get along with children. Yeah, I try to babysit children sometimes, but I feel like I cannot do it because I cannot understand children. I know that they are still children. They cannot speak sometimes. They like act weird or act like aggressive sometimes. But still, if I can shoot, I'm not going to babysit any babies. Yeah, because I cannot get along with them. But yeah, that kind of part that I think is similar to mine. And I think the part is just because she is a writer, which is the job that I really want to be in the future. Like, and she kind of read a lot of books. So that kind of like mine, because I love reading books. I love writing stuffs, and I'm not really get along with children. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And what about you? Is there any part of Alice's life that could relate to?
Yeah, I think I kind of like Falim, that the part that I hate children. Yeah, I understand that they're still a child, they're innocent, but maybe sometimes I just think that, well, how can you be this stupid? But I should be like, sorry, but I should be understanding, right? That it can be helped. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not hate the children, but yeah, I agree with Falim and Bob too.
Maybe we cannot understand them well.
Yeah, but I mean, even though I don't really get along with children, it doesn't mean that I like try to hit or hurt them. No, I'm not going to do that stuff because I don't believe in like I mean, I don't agree with like abusing some people, but just because if I don't really get along with them or I don't like them, I'm just try not to be like close to them or be with them. It's just that's it. Yeah.
Okay, so according to all of you said, so is there any problem happen to you with children? Because, you know, all of us must have some kid in our life anyway, like our niece, our brother, sister. Is there any problem with that?
I think from my personal experience, I think throw back to like maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I used to babysit that one child, and I feel like they are not reasonable. I mean, they are children. I try to understand that they are children, but still, they are not like reasonable enough, and if they don't get something, they just scream and they just like cry, and I hate when people making noise like screaming. I don't even know how to scream, so when like the child scream, it just like disturb me, and it just kind of like triggering me and making me angry every time. Yeah, and it's just because it's make me looking like a mean person, I know, but they are just not reasonable, and they just like want everything they want. Like, yeah, it's just so annoying.
I just think maybe in the past time we could be that kid.
Yeah.
Before.
I try to think like that too, but still, I ended up like don't get along with them. This is going to make me look like so mean. But I mean, not all kids though. If like the kids is still like, I don't know, maybe 1 years old or like 2 years old, that they don't really know how to speak. I mean, I look at them and I think they are kind of like adorable, and they're just cute, and I kind of like play with them. But if the kids already know how to speak, it's
like
making
primary
harder.
school, right?
Yeah, and it's making harder like to talk to them. Like especially kids nowadays, that they kind of like watch a lot of social media, using a lot of social media, and they kind of like using curse word, even though they are kids. And I don't know, but that is not acceptable for me. I don't think like it's appropriate for the kids to like using social media, but it happens a lot in these days. Yeah.
I think maybe part of the problem is that the parents don't have time to take care of their kids, so they let the kid be with the phone. That's why.
I think it's just one of the reasons that they can keep the kid like shut up, just like give them a phone, and But I think that is so bad. It's not really good to be a parent and do like that to the kids. I mean, you have the better way to do it. But I still cannot imagine myself being with like somebody else and like get married and have kids. That is just, I don't know. I love being like individualistic. I love to be independent, so I feel like I cannot see myself as in with someone, involved with someone. I can't not really think of that moment.
I can relate to you.
Yeah, I know we all relate. If like compared to these days, like the 21st century, people kind of love being independent. They don't want to like depend on anyone except for themselves.
We talk about children a lot, so maybe according to what we saw in the movie, do you think how the protagonists were raised, like when they were kids, how their parents raised them? Is there any effect on their life when they are grown up?
According to what I saw in the movie, I think how Miss like Alice Lamb was raised, I think it's just because she maybe was born in like rich or upper class family, that they put a lot of pressure on her, want her to be like something that they want her to be, want her to be in like the scope that they want her to be, like force her to be somebody else that she's not. And I think maybe she kind of like feeling like she being forced to be what she don't want to be, and once she like get out of that kind of life, so she just try to be whoever she want to be. So I think when she was like a little, maybe like her parents forcing her a lot just to like save their face, just to like save, kind of take care of their reputation, because maybe their parent is like upper class family. that is just my personal opinions because she didn't really refer to a lot of like her parents or like her childhood.
I think that makes sense because she is a writer. She didn't have like a proper job that have like
actually earn money, right?
yeah, but she still live have a have a have a good life. Yeah.
And I think you can see in the movie that I think I can actually saying this because it's not like a spoil because like some scene that she throw back to maybe like a little years ago. I don't actually know how many years that she like trying to throw back, but she like kind of dressed up elegantly. She kind of dressed up like nicely in like the party where maybe like gathering a lot of rich people, and compared to her life in the movie, like the recent life in the movie, she kind of like dress whatever she want, be whatever she want. So I think that kind of makes sense if she was raised in like the upper class family before she like get out of that life and being a writer. Do you think Thai family kind of raise kids like that? I mean, the upper class Thai family kind of force their kids to be like whatever they, to be like the parents one day to be. Do you think like it just happened in Thailand?
Me and Sandy also Chinese,
Oh.
and it's kind of like that. Chinese family will raise their children like, yeah, you must study this or that. You better study in science program or that kind of thing. Yeah, I think it's kind of force us.
That's new to me because I'm not from upper class or middle class family.
So what about the lower class family? Do you think like they kind of let their children be whatever they want to be, or just because they don't care?
For me, my family don't care what I want to be, what I want to do. But when I do something that like I also want to be a writer, right? And when I was younger, I was in high school, I also wrote something, and if they know, they will scold me like, why are you doing this? It's useless, kind of that. But still, they'll let me do what I want.
I think the Thai society in right now it's fixed. Okay, if you study like medical or medicine, you study like
Science.
yeah, some math or science, you can find some job. Yeah, it's
I think it's be more good opportunities for us like, to study. Maybe it look high. I don't know, studying scientific program.
Do you think it's just because the Thai society like kind of fixed? It's kind of like a stereotype that they can see if you study like education, you can become a teacher.
Yeah.
If you study like medicine, you can become a doctor or like engineer. It's very obvious, but like us that we study like humanity and social science, when somebody asks us like what do you want to be when you like graduate, we kind of like have the several answer that we cannot really shoot one, and when we give them that answer, they don't really see the picture because what they like used to see is like if you study like medicine, you can be a doctor because it's obvious. They like see that a lot, but for us they just it's just because it's not specific like what we are going to do when we graduate, so that's why they kind of like don't get the picture of it, so they don't believe about like what we are like to study.
Yeah,
Maybe it's just because the society, we cannot really like blame how our family think because they like was taught to think like that too, like in the past year. Yeah, but still you shouldn't force your like children to be like what they don't want to be.
yeah. This reminds me of my family. I think a few years ago before my brother get into high school, he said he want to study to be a mechanic. But my mom want he to study in hotel. And he talked to me about this, like he asked me to talk to my mom, like he wants to be a mechanic. Can you tell her that my brother asked me to talk to my mom about this? But I told him that you can talk to her, and yeah, in the end, she let my brother study whatever he wants.
That's good for him. Because I actually was raised by the family that, I mean, I can say that I'm kind of lucky that my family don't really force us to be like, to do what we don't want to do. I mean, it's just because I used to ask my mom like, why you like don't really force me to be like this or that, like some of my friends' family like. And then she just said that because if she let me shoot by myself, if I ended up don't like what I study, it's not her fault, because it's only like my fault that I shoot it by myself. I cannot like blame her because she forced me to do it, because no, she let me shoot it by myself. So it's like depends on me. I think it's good though, but it's still, if I ended up don't like it, I mean, I'm going to like, I don't have anyone to blame. It's only me who shoot it by myself. Yeah, but I mean, I'm glad that I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad for you too.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, if compared to Miss Lam in the movie, just look, because she cannot express herself, she cannot really be what she want to be, so she ended up like that. She ended up alone. She ended up in like somewhere like away from the city. She ended up being, I don't know, maybe she didn't contact with her family at all. Yeah, you will ended up like that if you don't like do what you want, like really want to do.
But you know, when I look at Alice Lam, I think she's lonely. She is really lonely, and I feel like she doesn't have anyone to like to talk to or be by her side. And then she met Vera. Like, and they fell in love, and then one day Vera just left, and Vera is like someone that she can rely on for Alice, and then Vera left, so she doesn't have anyone by her side anymore. And it's like, for me, I think her coping mechanism is like cut off all the social. She isolates herself from the community and live alone like that. It's like, I don't want to hurt anymore.
Oh yeah, I think this is, I think it's reasonable enough, because she used to rely on like so many people. Like first maybe she relied on her families, and then she cut them off, and then she think like she can rely on Vela because she think maybe she's the one who she can rely on, and then she ended up being hurt. So she just think like maybe she just feel like it's not good to rely on anyone anymore. Maybe it's better if she like live alone by herself and be by herself. And I think this is kind of gender stereotype, but like I don't know that it's going to make sense, but when Vela like still live with like, I mean when Miss Lam still live with Vela, she kind of dressed like femininity, but then when she live alone, she kind of dressed in like masculinity. Maybe it's something that show her that she is strong, she's tough, she can be by herself. She like, she's stronger than ever. I think the dress is one of the symbol that kind of show like when she with the girl, she kind of being like feminine, but when she alone, she kind of being like masculine. It's just because the society expect like everyone, I mean, they expect you to get married, but because Miss Lam cannot get married, so she just try to express herself in like the masculine way, just to like show that she's top. I think she's still emotional. Like if you see so many scenes, she kind of emotional, I think. She's still, I mean, humans still humans. They, when they have like their part life, they have like the trauma. It still remind them and hurts them. I mean, they are still human, and they have emotional. I mean,
do you think that Frank remind her of Vera, because you know he's like a kid and he come to live with Alice like kind of like part of family, like a new family member, and it's for you. Do you think it's remind me of Vera? It's like Vera left her because she wants to be a mother. Do you think that Please remind me of her past life.
I think the reason why Miss Lam, like, I will call her Alice for now, okay? Alice, like, don't want to have kids. I think it's just because her trauma with, like, her ex-lover, Bella. I think because she want to have kids, right? And then she left Miss Alice. And I think that's why she don't want to, like, be with children or, like, have a children, because this is what hurts her. This is what make Bella left her. So I think when thanks came, I think it's kind of maybe remind her, because Fang is children, and because children is like the factor that make her ex-lover left her. So I think that's why she don't really want to raise Fang at first.
I think Frank is she's like a sociable kid, and she's, I don't know, like atmosphere from him, like how he talks, how he go around Alice, try to communicate with her, like it's kind of like Bella maybe, because
Like
Bella is kind of like fun people too.
Yeah, she's sociable.
Yeah. And I think Frank asked Alice a lot of questions when they were together, right? And maybe it showed that he interested in her life.
He
like
interested in him.
someone interested in her life for a long time. Yeah, maybe that could be.
Maybe that could be, because like in the society, in her, like her village, people kind of like blame her and don't really want like their kids to be with her, like or near her, kind of hated her. And it's just because people see her like that and don't really want to like get along with her or like try to talk to her. So that's kind of make her lonely, I think. And then when Fang came, and like you said that he kind of like asking a lot of questions, even about her work, like her stuff. Like there's a scene that Frank asked about her book, right? So I think it's maybe no one ever asks her about her work. They just assume her like to be just a spinster, just the woman who don't want to get married. They
even call her a Nazi spy, a witch, right?
Just because she is isolated.
And that's so mean, because maybe the society at that time, I think it's happened around like 1940s. I'm not really sure about like when, but I think it's around that year, and people maybe still have, it's not, I feel like the children were taught by their parents like about her. Maybe their parents like talking about her that way, that's why the children remember.
The children didn't born hated, but they were taught to be hated.
Wait, what is that girl who is Frank friends? I cannot remember her name.
It's Eddie, I think.
Eddie? Yeah, I think that kind of name. Because, you know, if you like seen in the movie that Eddie kind of like scared of like Miss Alice, because her like grandparents, like grandmother taught her that Alice is like a witch, like a bad person, and she believed because they are children and they believe what like the older told them. And especially she don't want to get near Alice. She cannot really like talk to Alice because she's so scared. But after that, I think she kind of like see that Alice it's not like what their parents or their grandparents told them who she is. So that's why she kind of like get to talk to Alice a little bit, like kind of open their heart a little bit, because they can see that it's not true, it's not like that.
Can I question you something? If you prepare about the 1940 period and the present about a woman marriage with a man, or you must have the kids, do you think it's different?
You mean like compare, right?
Yeah, compare.
At that time, they kind of like this stereotype that you have to marry to be successful, you have to have family and children, you have to have the husband to be stable in your life. But nowadays, I think it's still like that. I mean, it's better, but still like that. Like, parents still expect their child to get, I mean, if their child is a girl, they still like expect them to get married, because if you get married, you have family, so your life can be like success, and you can be like rely on your husband. You can like really, you can, I mean, it's just because you have like someone to rely on. And I feel like maybe it's a little bit better that people nowadays kind of shoot what they want to do. Like most of them, have so much gut to shoot what they want to do, because sometimes it's not about like the parents tell them what to do. The parent is not like the owner of their life, so they kind of like shoot whatever they want, even though the parents still want them to get married, but it doesn't mean that they have to listen to them. They can shoot their life. They can shoot like how the life is going to be. So I think in that era, like 1940s, it's just because they have no choice. They still have to rely on like somebody, because if you don't really get married or rely on somebody, you are going to like be blamed by a society. But nowadays, even though you don't really believe or trust your parent, that they forced you to get married, you still have the place to stand in the society, because the society nowadays, they kind of like don't care. I feel like if you don't want to get married, that's your life. Your parents forced it to do and you don't want to do it, that's still your life. It's not mine to judge you. Yeah, I think compared to that 1940s, I think it's a little bit better, but still maybe in some family they still like try to force their children to marry, and maybe that child cannot really shoot, or like they don't have a choice and they have to do what their parents force them to do. But still I think it's a little bit better. And the sexuality though, at that time it's just because if you are like the woman in like 1940s, it's kind of impossible for you. Like you will get blamed, and people will say that it's a sin because they are so religious, right? But nowadays, I really like the energy of people nowadays, because they kind of like, they don't care. They just don't care at all. Like you cannot really judge them if they are going to love someone who is the same sex as them. It's just the thing of two person. It's not your business to like mine. So I feel like it's free, but legally it's not. In Thailand it's still not. But yeah, people kind of like love whoever they like want to love, and they kind of like being whoever they want to be. This is the obvious thing that compared to 1940s, that in that time you cannot really express yourself to be like, if you are maybe gay, I can say gay, like, and if you express yourself in that time, you may be like being blamed, or like I don't know, they might do something like so violence to you. So it's different.
Good answer.
Thank you.
This has been part 1 of our discussion about Summerland. Join us next week for episode 5, where we will do part 2 of our Summerland conversation with our second surprise guest. What do you think about our conversation? Leave your comment in the comment section. Stay cool and attractive.